Thank you so much, Lottie. It's so good to be here in the winners bracket finals. FaZe versus Spacestation Gaming. Arlington, are you with me?
Woo! I'm not supposed to be up here, but for some reason, I got lucky enough to be standing next to you, Tony, and I couldn't be more excited to be a part of this series, have the best seats in the house for this one. Because if we watch these two teams' last event show us anything, it's that these series typically go the distance, and I think they touched on it on the desk perfectly. There's a lot of big-name players that have plans on making big plays in this series.
Winners bracket finals, so important. Tournament after tournament. It's so hard to reset a bracket, but also so hard to win off of a reset. Normally the winner of the winners finals will take the tournament. This is the most important series of the weekend.
Kicking it off, it's gonna be live fire strongholds, and this is gonna be a tough one for FaZe Clan because Space Station specialize in pushing the limits on strongholds on live fire. So we'll see if they can weather the storm early. We're gonna pay attention to Eco as we hop on board.
Double push quickly coming out of Space Station Gaming as they go right after the Charlie side of the map. World 2 almost able to hold down that tower side by himself, but looks like SSG, they want the seaside control. They also want to translate that quickly to the overshield.
I love the rotation. I love the rotation back to overshield. Power weapon, power up focus going to be so important to put those players in a position to make a play here throughout this series. So that's the big thing you need to pay attention to. Typically those big plays, they come from the overshield. They come from the snipe. But this overshield, it's starting to get melted. Bound is surrounded, taken down, and FaZe have weathered the storm first off.
I was just about to say, at least he has the heat wave to work with, but the back smack neutralized that immediately. Somehow, it's StelluR able to get away with the S7. He sees that nade coming out of nowhere, has to be careful. The last thing StelluR wants to do is change hands for this power weapon.
Make a play. You did it all day yesterday against Optic. Can you hit some shots to take your series lead? The answer this time is no. A great job by Royal 2 and come to shut him down.
Quick lead down for Space Station Gaming. FaZe take control and they take the lead here. A double cap with the CB setup. That means that SSG are spawning over toward the A side. You see that long range grenade going in, try to get any cheap damage that he can. Overshield in less than 20 seconds. That's going to pull both of these teams towards it.
So let's step back. FaZe Clan did not get an overshield or snipe at the start of the game. They have done a phenomenal job to somehow have the lead here with B and C controlled. Building that lead with Space Station getting all the early power bodes well for FaZe fans.
Forget making lemonade out of lemons. They're making margaritas.
I'll take one, maybe two.
That overshield finally coming up, and it looks like StelluR and Bound in perfect position to grab hold of it. That allows Eco to sit here over toward the tower side and make sure that FaZe can't get in position, does everything he can to play his life, buys enough time for Overshield to get into play, but it looks like Overshield ends up getting shredded, and FaZe once again dominate map control.
3 go down, and all of a sudden a 50-point lead for FaZe Clans, and Frosty doesn't even have a kill yet. Royal 2 in the lead, 7-1-2, starting this winners bracket finals off the way Royal 2 normally does, dominant.
It looks like Renegade not too far behind them, and he's already pushing towards enemy lines, right up to the sandbag side. Renegade back-to-back kills. That puts him in the lead now, and Royal 2 just doing what Royal 2 does best. He's just gonna perch up onto the tower side and make sure that no SSG gets anything for free like Pznguin thinks he's about to get.
Great patient play. He gets the kill, the reset, and makes it a difficult kill for Space Station. That is a phenomenal veteran patient play here in a big moment of this game one.
Nades coming out of Renegade, waiting for that sniper to come up. They have to secure the C side, but there's 3 members of Space Station Gaming pushing up. The triple push will force Renegade out of position and ultimately to play his life. And now we see a little bit of rotation action. They don't need Charlie. They really need to hold Alpha and Bravo at the moment.
Tony, this is a 130-point lead, and Frosty just got his first few kills. It's actually a triple in the feed as Renegade gets the last one. 4 down goes Space Station, and a trip cap is inbound.
A clean sweep. FaZe putting SSG forward down and now manipulating those spawns, daring Pznguin to cross the 50. It looks like he was about to make it over toward the C side, turns around, gets that communication. It's FaZe that have full C control. They're gonna have to make it toward the other side of the map.
Space Station Gaming struggling so hard to try and get out of the blender that they've been in for over about 4 minutes now. It's been A solid 2 points held, and Renegade continues to dominate this game. Now up to 12-3-3, and he's got his eyes set on the next overshield.
And with overshield coming up, SnakeBite puts his body on the line to make sure that Renegade doesn't get touched. Easy grab coming in, but it ends up being neutralized immediately. Heads up play by Icy Penguin.
A big play by Pznguin. Now, what can you do with it? You got B and C now in the hands of Spacestation. Finally, they get some points on the board in their favor, but you're down over 110 right now. Plays need to be made, and Pznguin, your number's being called. You only have 3 bullets in the S7. What can you give us?
The same way we saw Royal 2 dominate the C side of the map with this tower side is now what Pznguin is doing. Just repositioned slightly to try to pick up some of the damage that's being created by his teammates here, but a CB setup being held. Now you're seeing 3 members of FaZe. They're addressing Bravo.
SnakeBite's going to be on the left side of the map, but the pressure, the focus from FaZe is on to B. Right now, Pznguin trying to rotate over there, is able to land a body shot onto Renegade. Frosty, however, still in the hill, able to capture it in his team's favor, and now Pznguin was removed from that play the entire time. You got to figure out a way to be a little bit more impactful, especially when you're down over 100 points.
And now he has no more sniper ammo to work with either, so gonna have to use his BR. Gets into an individual fight with Frosty, not quite able to win that, but his teammates are following through. Here come FaZe, Renegade challenge. Eco, that's not gonna happen. 3 down for FaZe. SSG steal Bravo right away.
Numbers advantage for Spacestation, but they have to continue this momentum for so long. Still down 90 points and counting. C under a lot of pressure from FaZe right now, and Eco tries to relocate top tower with the repulse, but he's got to get a couple of kills before he can jump in this stronghold.
Both overshield and sniper coming up at the exact same time, and Eco has that big brain flank that you want to see. Couple kill comes in. That's going to open up the rest of the map for SSG to try to take control of overshield, but nobody home just yet. Frosty and Renegade might have been too much for Renegade. Pockets it just for a bit, and now he's going to get right back into the action. 3 members of SSG takes down 1. Needler in the back pocket, the nade starts to push. Not quite able to take down Bound. Didn't Bound call him sugar, honey, iced tea?
Words we can't say as casters that they get to say as players because we like our job and they are better than us. So we'll keep it under wraps, use the bleeps where they're needed. But yeah, that's going to be something Renegade did not forget from earlier this morning. That is something that he wants to be able to say something about here as this series goes underway.
It definitely looks like he hasn't forgotten it. 14 kills, 7 assists to go along with it. Plus, he's only died 8 times for this FaZe roster, but it's Royal 2, the man of the hour, sniper in hands. They want to take over Bravo. They know they need that first pick. It looks like Renegade wasn't able to trade out his life with Eco, but Royal 2 chasing down a new challenger. Once again, SSG gained the advantage. They're not going to be taking Bravo.
Hold the phone, 3 go down. All of a sudden, just a 60-point game, what was once a 110-point lead, is starting to dwindle. I want to hop into a listen-in with Spacestation Gaming and see how they can amount this comeback.
You guys trying to go cement? Cement one. Hey, take our time, take our time. Let's use it. I'm coming up right. Could go vent. It's on small doors. Yo, can we start going right? Yeah. Terminal closer. We're trying to name me. I have here. Someone make a play for me? Sniping training. What's that tower, PJ? Top tower? Start pivoting. Nice. Top tower.
OB in 20, guys. OB in 20.
I'm going bottom.
Fighting tower for you guys. Yeah, John's mod right now.
Tower and T-Pot. I'm trying to live, guys.
I'm trying to kill John.
OB in 50.
Yo, drop it.
2 down me door.
Come back.
Keep living, guys. That's one. You're ramp, John.
Alright, OB in 5, guys. One shot C-Pot.
Yo, elbow, man.
Can we play for Elbow?
Yeah, let's see.
We're not gonna get it, West. All good.
You give me something, PJ.
Yeah, talk about what we want to do off spawn here.
Yo, I'm gonna help you. Get it?
Yeah, get
One bottom in.
See, another guy on West. It's on me.
Pillars.
PJ, I have your bottom mid dummies.
A with Toby.
Yeah, bottom mid dummies.
Yeah, we need to see. Cuts one.
And dummies.
Nice.
Cuts, PJ, cuts half.
Yeah, one more. I need help, guys. Are we got me, top mid? I'm trying to get TPJ.
Angle was on you.
2 dice, I'm gonna die. All good, boys, all good. 2 dice. Yeah, dice one shot.
Dice on B.
No, one bottom mid is the West. Plenty of time.
Yeah, bad. Let's go.
Dice.
Out of us. Yo, bottom mid is all.
I can't pay, guys. I can't pay.
PJ, behind us. He's gonna be a guy. He's gonna be together.
Yeah, 2 elbow, 2 nice. Oh my god, ace, man!
Yo,
we're getting A, we're getting A.
Size, right, man.
Yeah, I'm living,
Sniping
living.
15, guys. Sniping 15.
No, do I go B? What do I do? Just go B with them, go B with them, go B with them. Go.
Sniping 10, guys. Sniping 10.
Are you?
He's bottom mid. And A plat, so concrete.
He's back B and some, Matt, back B half. I'm weak, bro. I can't.
down,
Yeah,
two,
two, one
two,
This one did.
Yo, snipes up now, guys. Snipes up now as well.
One hit,
All good,
one hit, big door, and Matt's trying to kill guy B. There's a guy big door on you.
Hopping on board with FaZe. It seems a little chaotic in my opinion. Some nice mat comms were obviously due to Royal 2 making a play, but you're gonna need to make another one if you're FaZe Clan right now, risking the trip cap. Now Space Station have taken the lead.
Yeah, that momentary trip cap can pay dividends here for Space Station, but that's until Renegade's able to get away with the sniper. They have to make a play right now. There's no time. You gotta hop in Alpha and Bravo at the same time here, and it looks like one gets stopped, and that might be all that was needed. SSG taking game one.
What an unbelievable comeback we were able to witness. I know we were in the listen-in with FaZe, but it was really them on their back feet that entire time. And I mean, taking a look at those stats, it was really Pznguin that was able to stick out, leading the lobby in kills, and it was not looking pretty for them early on. They were down 110 points for Space Station to make that comeback, to build some momentum here very early on in this series. Going into game two, what a massive performance from them.
Really tough over towards that end game too. You know, you saw Renegade obviously have the sniper, you saw a 3-man push, but they had to hop into Alpha and Bravo at the same time because of that powerful trip cap, and that's ultimately what got them the win there. And man, SSG, they're a tough team to deal with on strongholds. We all know how good FaZe are when it comes to Slayer.
And that was really the crux. They talked about it on the desk a little bit about the previous time these two teams have matched up. Space Station needing to work on their Slayers in order to get over the hump, in order to maybe win the winner's bracket finals match and give themselves that advantage going into the next best of 7. This game 2 will show if Space Station was able to work on those Slayers so quickly in this series. To be able to go up 2-0 in this best of 7 would be massive for Space Station, and if they decide to do it, it's going to be on the streets. And I'm sorry, it is a best of 5. I jumped the gun.
Streets gonna be coming up next, and we know how important that power weapon control is. And the way SSG were playing for quite a bit, maybe obviously not an overshield in play like there is on live fire, but you still have those rockets over towards the mid-map. You still have Stalker, which dominates the subway side. Let's not forget about that Bulldog. If SSG can employ that same exact power weapon control, that efficiency that they came in that game number 1, who's to say they can't win on Slayer? Who's to say they can't go up 2-0 in the series? Well, apparently the audience thinks they can do it.
There's a lot of SSG fans out there that have something to say about it, but the only thing that matters, the only people that matter are the 8 there on that main stage. And SSG have been waiting for an opportunity to redeem themselves and their Slayers from last tournament, and this is their first real opportunity to show the world they have what it takes.
SSG has only dropped 1 map on their way here to the winners bracket finals. Hasn't dropped 1 yet, and they don't plan on dropping 1 now, even here on the streets of C-Bound. The first one to get a hold of those rockets, gets it over toward the safety of a perimeter on the purple side, and has his teammates around him. This is a perfect position here for Bounder. You know, he said, you know what, I'm gonna be unselfish. I don't need the Bulldog and rockets. Go ahead and take 1 for me.
So far, so good for Space Station. Power weapon control in their favor. It's just a 1-0 lead. Very often do you see a lot of kills being traded for those opening rockets, but Space Station somehow not only just being able to pick up those rockets, but get out of there unscathed without dropping a single death. They're going to be able to dictate the early pace of this game, and with this, they're turning it into a stalemate already.
Both SnakeBite and Frosty are responsible for holding on to the B side here for FaZe. We're seeing Eco. He wants to dress it onto tires, and as of right now, SSG are perfectly comfortable with slowing this game down to a snail's pace. And I promise you though, once that entry damage comes in, once that first kill, that easy kill comes out, either one of these teams can pick it up at a moment's notice, and the Rockets might be exactly what the doctor ordered. Quickly taking 1 down. Excellent shots onto SnakeBite, but the double push still forces Pznguin to back down. He may need some reinforcement.
Honestly, that's a phenomenal job by FaZe to make Pznguin waste those rockets. It only transitions into 1 kill. I'm pretty sure he hit his own teammate with the second one. It was traded out, and a 2-1 lead for Space Station looks a little bit different now they have no rockets to play around.
Penguin grabbing that drop ball. He's going to be a little extra confident here while defending the purple. Bound gets a double kill off the screen. That Bulldog is too strong. That's going to SnakeBite by himself. He thinks it's a 1v1, but the bait and switch is too much. A 6-1 run here for SSG. FaZe are in trouble.
How slow is this game going? It's Street Slayer, for God's sake, one of the fastest map mode combos we have in Infinite. And as Pznguin uses the Shroud perfectly to help himself get away with the rockets, it's 7-1 with rocket control. Perfect power weapon played this time around from the big dog Pznguin.
It don't matter how fast you move, it might just be a turtle race. And as of right now, SSG using that patience, defending every single angle on the map and limiting the movements here for FaZe. FaZe, they have to try to make something happen. They need a big play. Royal 2 gets the first kill, but will it be enough?
And you gotta wonder how paranoid FaZe is right now, as Pznguin, under a lot of pressure, finally goes down for the first time in this game. But typically, Spacestation are a very fast-paced team, Tony. Typically, they're soaring, they're applying pressure at all times. For them to kind of flip the switch here, at least early in game 2, maybe this is the lead and the success that they will need to have success in Slayers against a team like FaZe.
SSG really showing their utility, showing their versatility, and being able to slow the game down when necessary, and clearly it is working. That's a 4 down for FaZe. As they hit the black screen, SSG have the opportunity to punish those spawns.
Bound with a 6-2-2 start, has the Stalker in hand as well, so in a prime position to potentially push that to an even better KD ratio right now. But the young superstar, the one that hasn't got a win yet on this team, you know this is the one that he has his eyes set on at the time, and what a position he's put in to be able to get his team over the hump, get to a 2-0 lead in this best of 5. That would be a mark Spacestation haven't seen yet, and he's gonna hold this angle down so perfectly.
Must be so frustrating for SnakeBite. He's been having one heck of a tournament so far, especially within the Slays column.
Best KD ratio in the tournament.
Being at 0-4, even 1 assist behind it. Obviously, the game is still young and it's only a 15-7 game, but this is not indicative of the way that SnakeBite and FaZe have been playing. But with Renegade coming in with that Sentinel beam, that may slow SSG down even slower than they've already been, and that's enough time, enough of a distraction for SnakeBite to get a hold of the Rockets.
Yeah, distracting 2 of them is big. Even getting 1 before going down is even bigger. SnakeBite with these rockets now gonna find his first kill, put himself on the board, and now FaZe Clan kind of get to dictate where this game is gonna go from here, because although it's 16-9, when you have the rockets in your hand, you get to decide, are we pushing, are we gonna play a fast-paced game? Unfortunately, Royal 2 getting caught off on the other side of the map is gonna make FaZe slow this one down. It's gonna wait for the respawners. They have to figure out a way to turn this into a couple multiple kills, getting the numbers advantage with this last rocket.
I'm gonna agree with you 100%. As of right now, SSG have been controlling the pace. FaZe are reacting to everything that SSG are throwing at them. We need FaZe to start playing their game, and whatever that looks like, it might be behind the rockets. Takes Eco down. That's gonna be with the quickness. Too quickly down for SSG, and now it looks like StelluR inbound. They're not gonna move into position. They're just gonna wait for the rest of the team to spawn up. Can FaZe take advantage of this?
This is good for FaZe. Having them trapped in Tram is big, but unfortunately, that first pick is even bigger. Spacestation creates so much space with that kill on the SnakeBite. They're able to trade it out from a very disadvantageous position right now. This is a big 1v1, but Renegade interrupts it, finds himself his 6th kill of the match, and now all of a sudden, a blowout. It's just a 7-kill game. Make it 8 as Frosty ties it back to 7. Picks up this red gun, and this is an opportunity that FaZe has not had in this game yet.
Couple denial grenades being thrown. Not sure how much ammo he has in that Stalker. It looks like not much. He wasted the final bullet and immediately gonna drop it. 2 members of SSG are lagging behind here onto the subway side. Frosty is right behind them, but he is spotted.
Rockets are coming up right now. Frosty needs to figure out a way to impact the battle, because this is going to be a very important one for FaZe, almost a must-win as far as a win condition is concerned. Those rockets, they get shrouded out, and it does look like Spacestation have found themselves another set of rockets in the hand of Bound. A trade is great when you're up so much, but right now it's starting to dwindle. 3 go down for Spacestation on the other side of the map, and make it 4 down for Spacestation. It's a clean wipe after those use of rockets, and FaZe have made this a 4-kill game.
They were able to get a hold of the rockets, but weren't able to do much with it. SSG eventually going 4 down. That's not what you want to see. And like you said, FaZe are slowly starting to claw their way back into it. But of course, once I say that, Spacestation wake up. They turn the tables right away. And now it's FaZe, the ones going 3 down. Renegade, the one has to force to back down and ultimately play his life.
A smart play by Renegade, but a frustrating one. 3 no-shield players get away with their lives right there. Nobody able to trade on the side of FaZe, and because they just made it a 4-kill game, you're thinking that was the moment we tied this up. Unfortunately, you get back 3 more. It's all of a sudden back to a 6-kill game.
And once again, back to that stalemate that we were seeing all throughout the first half. The game slows down. You're waiting for that early damage. You're waiting for that early advantage, early kill for you to change the course, change the pace of the game here. So just chipping away at the shields of each other. Renegade with the Sentinel beam, this could be the difference maker, but the rest of his teams are taking a lot more damage than expected. They're backing down, and apparently so will Renegade.
Nice kill there by Renegade, but it's only going to result in a trade. Look how far back Spacestation are playing. This is uncharacteristic. You need to see FaZe take advantage of all the space that they've been awarded on the map. Spacestation, if they get weak, they will not have a place to hide. So Royal 2, perfect shots with the Stalker Rifle, find that opening pick. Unfortunately, a bit of an overchow there, not able to get away from the angle of the rest of Spacestation. Still anchoring this position so perfectly. Frosty gets taken down as well. The lead remains 7.
The day started off with a 1v1 between Bound and Renegade, and it even continues with them going off for their respective teams. But as of right now, Spacestation Gaming that still have that advantage. It's Spacestation Gaming that get away with the rockets. Luckily, Frosty's able to ice him out over towards the bottom subway side, but SSG still have control, and Eco's still confident enough to try to trade out his life with that Bulldog. Even ends up staying alive, does some extra damage with the grenades. Excellent life by Eco.
All of these kills and removal of power weapons with these rockets, as far as trades are concerned, are only benefiting Spacestation right now. Still up 7, approaching 50, 12 to go. If you can continue to find ways to trade, you will win and go up 2-0 in this series.
And with Pznguin just hiding in that corner, waiting for anybody to cross, he gets that free damage and a pivotal fight. And like I said, every single kill brings SSG closer and closer to that 50 mark. FaZe only down by 5, but they have to be careful.
5 kills is doable, but you need to play almost perfect to come back. You need plays to be made, and Frosty staying alive in Red Room here is a big play. Unfortunately, the last overchow is going to cost him his life. Pznguin able to finish off that kill, extending it back to a 5-kill game. But now FaZe Clan have got to figure out a way to dissect this team, and they haven't been able to do it all game. And unfortunately, Renegade getting caught out only slows down that plan from taking push 2.
FaZe are playing with fire right now, allowing SSG 43 kills, just 7 kills away from taking the win. And as my mother used to say, you play with fire, you're bound to get burned. So now we have Bound on screen with that bandit. Multiple members of FaZe backing down. They have to start valuing their lives. Something has to change now.
It's a 6-kill game. Rockets come up in 20 seconds. And I'd be surprised if Spacestation didn't want to make a play before these rockets come up, because if FaZe are able to get a couple of kills and get the rockets paired with it, that is their win condition to get back in this.
And that's the advantage that SSG have, though. I mean, they can sacrifice a couple of lives, a couple of bodies to make sure they secure those rockets, because they're the ones with the lead. They're the ones in control. They're forcing FaZe to put themselves in an awkward position, and that might be the last mistake being made, because Bound comes in quick in the arcade side, ain't playing no games, takes down Frosty. His teammates off his spawn are going at it. 2 down go FaZe, and those rockets are sitting right into the mid-map.
Somehow Spacestation find the opening 2 picks. It allows StelluR to at least get rockets a little bit closer to his team. They have a 7-kill lead and 2 rockets to play around, and that's going to be a good one to start with. Royal 2 going to be stuck no shield. Eco finding a lot of success in removing those rockets from the map. Make this game almost a lock for SSG.
SSG less than a squad wipe away from going up 2-0 in the series against FaZe, the team that's been the thorn in their side, the same team that beat them out twice in Dallas. SSG looking good, up by 7. All you got to do is don't make mistakes. Just play for the trades at this point. At this point, you're 3 kills away from doing it.
So many times we've seen teams come back on Street Slayer, but with 57 seconds remaining, FaZe are not only having to deal with 3 kills to give up, but also a time limit that will expire. They get the first kill. Great teamwork from Eco, from Bound. It's the boys in yellow that are doing it again.
You talked about it early in the game, how slow of a pace SSG were playing. It's a chess game. They were thinking 17, if not 20 moves ahead. They knew if they continued to play at that pace, eventually FaZe would be between the shot clock and the scoreboard. They put them in between that rock and a hard place, and eventually it was just too much for FaZe to handle.
And let's talk about it. How SSG just dissected exactly what FaZe wanted to do that entire game. Ever since the opening break, the first set of rockets, they were able to dictate everything throughout that game. Maybe there was one small lapse where it felt like FaZe had them on the reins for a little bit, had the opportunity to successfully get some momentum, to play at our pace, to control the game. No, SSG perfectly just finessed FaZe out of a Game 2 StelluR. That tells me everything I need to know about SSG's chances of winning this tournament. They are now the favorites to win this tournament because they have been able to fix their StelluRs, and that was one of the most impressive games I have seen.
And it wasn't just the first rockets of the map, it's also the second to last one. You saw 43-37. SSG, they have an advanced understanding of the situation, and they know all they have to do is dare FaZe to push up, make FaZe make the first move, and once they do, punish them. That's exactly what they did. They played the situation perfectly, and that's the reason why they're up 2-0.
Game 3 is going to be Argyle CTF, and if you ever needed to get back and find some momentum, FaZe Clan need to find a way to get to a Game 4, find this series a little bit further, because right now SSG are looking with so much momentum forward to this championship Sunday. And on Argyle CTF, you got 2 S7s, you got the camo up top, and a lot of opportunity to make plays. And right now, the way SSG are being able to dictate how this series has been played since about midway through Game 1, that's where this game could get dangerous.
You've sat both with this team and also behind the team as a coach. You've been a player and a coach, and you've teamed with the likes of the SnakeBites, the World 2. You have seen what this FaZe Clan can do.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a position like this where you're in the winner's bracket finals, you're down 0-2, and you're the ones that have to make something happen? You're the ones not in control.
Well, every time we did it from the elimination bracket, because we weren't the best Friday team. Shocker, I know. But there were plenty of series we were down 0-2, and there were plenty of series where we find ourselves shortly in a Game 5, and on top of that Game 5 at the end. I don't think we ever lost a Game 5 when we teamed together. So these guys, if anybody has seen it firsthand, SnakeBite, Royal 2, Frosty, you guys know exactly what you're doing in order to get back into a series like this. But it really does start with the playmakers, and I'm glad we're able to highlight Renegade, because although I only had the opportunity to stand behind this kid for a short stint, let me tell you, he is a playmaker, and if anybody can give this FaZe roster a spark, it's going to be Renegade with a 1.2 CTF KD.
But on the other side, you still got Bound to deal with it. Not only is Bound an amazing 1v1 player, but he might be even a better 4v4 player, especially when you have the likes of StelluR, Eco, and the rest of them behind you. That not only does Bound come with that firepower, that movement, the mastery, the mechanics, but when you have the team communicating the way they do, the teamwork that they have, they overwhelm you with that teamwork. And I mean, you already saw it in the first 2 games. Bound is a stud.
Something I've seen throughout this weekend that I'm going to want everyone to pay attention to is how scrappy SSG have always been in CTF. They don't wait for 4 to be down before pulling the flag. They'll get 1 kill. They'll pull the flag when all 4 of you are alive, just to make it a little bit more chaotic, just to give you another variable to try and weigh and make it more difficult for the other team to kind of play defense, right? They don't need complete setups in order to get efficient objective done. FaZe have kind of adopted that and started to put that into their own. So many times I would be frustrated watching this FaZe team play like a map like Empyrean, where they would need a perfect setup to get the flag moving. This weekend they have showed me that they can be a little bit more scrappy, a little bit more efficient and random, and creating those variables for their enemy teams. I think that they have found so much success with their CTF since they've been able to do that, that I have a lot of hope for how this matchup's going to go in Game 3.
Been proud of the way that FaZe have been looking and capture the flag against the rest, but now you gotta do it against the best. Spacestation Gaming here on Argyle with first to 3 takes the win. We're still gonna put 12 minutes on the clock, but this can be the last time you see FaZe in the winner's bracket. If you're a FaZe fan, you better make some noise. They need you.
I wanna see a game 5. I wanna see what Bound is up to at the start of this game as well. Gonna go for the grapple at the start, camo in his eyes, and is he gonna win the race for it? It does look like he's able to at least drag it towards him. And with this camouflage, Spacestation are going to once again be able to create a little bit of the pace at the start of this game.
Was able to get away with that camouflage despite taking damage as he grabs it, but finds himself over towards the mid-map, and you know SnakeBite, he has them camo eyes. 3 down for Spacestation Gaming. FaZe have an opportunity to push up.
What a kill by Royal too, to spot that camo player, take him down before he's able to really get his shield back and start impacting their mid game here as we get underway. Royal 2 already starting to put his fingerprints here in game 3. Let's see what else he's got for us.
Sniper up in the vents. This is exactly where you want Royal 2, but his duo does end up going down in Renegade, and Frosty does as well. Royal 2 winning a big gunfight against Pznguin, but he's still isolated here by himself, so he's gonna play just a bit slow, at least until his teammates are able to get back into the action.
And he hit the headshot? No. Can he finish the kill? No, unfortunately. That one's gonna get away from him. Does Eco Smith go down is what we're paying attention to right now. Royal 2 not looking to be aggressive as he still has a few more bullets with this S7, and if he can find a couple of picks, FaZe Clan will be able to get a flag on the move if they can get players into the base. It does look like trades are across the board right now, and Royal 2 looking to get a little bit more involved. Looks to push.
3 down for SSG with the final player in StelluR. Wins his 1v1, and that puts FaZe 4 down themselves. So StelluR with the sniper. SnakeBite gets bodied, but oh, and the second one's gonna connect. They don't gotta be flashy, you just gotta hit them.
That was pretty flashy, I'll be honest. The no-scope, followed by the BR shot, followed by the no-scope. He says, I'll do it with the big gun then.
Missed the no-scope onto Frosty. Frosty with the height advantage gives it up momentarily just to take down StelluR. Now it's Frosty has a turn with this S7, taking damage from all sides. Eco awarded the kill for that one. World 2 now knows where Eco's at because of it. The body shot goes in, World 2 finds the kill, and Pznguin is chasing him down.
You know Pznguin wants to get the snipe out of Royal 2's hands. The damage that he can do with this weapon is very known by Spacestation. These two go so far back, been competing against each other for so long at this point. Pznguin with one more grapple, tests the limits of the death barriers and gets back into the base, and look at that, with 2 down from FaZe, Pznguin looks to pull the flag.
And you're talking about earlier the objective efficiency of Spacestation Gaming. While that happens, the rest of his team are putting FaZe 2 down. If they were able to follow up through it, this flag would have been home, but luckily FaZe off the spawn, catch the angles they're looking for. This should be a return, and multiple members of FaZe are already past the 50.
That was going to be all 4 going down for Spacestation. Look at the ground that FaZe have been able to take early on, but Pznguin spots out Renegade going under his base. Pznguin follows him, and although he's going to be weak, not able to be taken down, but Frosty follows up. SnakeBite finds one of his own, 2-2 trade on each side. But with Frosty in Spacestation's base, this could be great for Spacestation fans.
That's exactly what you want to see. Bound and Eco, they want to push Frosty out, but you have such a tight area to go through, and it's nade heaven. They're aware of that, so they have to tread with caution. Frosty with a couple shots onto Bound. Bound goes quickly in for the challenge. Back-to-back kills for Spacestation Gaming. They've successfully defended their base.
4 down for FaZe. Once again, very nice defense from both of these two teams so far. And already, Spacestation trying to prove that they can push the pedal to the metal when getting 4 down. Look at how aggressive they are being. Everyone on Bound's team in front of him in the FaZe base. FaZe lose 3 players, but so do Spacestation. And Bound, he backs up, he plays for camo, and I like this play by him. He's gonna be able to secure this and potentially get another successful push for his team. Where did that camo just go?
He grappled it over, but it might have hit the wall, so now it's just might be sitting in no man's land at the moment. No camouflage for Bound. Royal 2 does end up going down. SSG did have the control, and looks like Bound is able to grab it, and now I can imagine FaZe have no idea. They found out the hard way, but that's gonna be numbers in favor of Spacestation Gaming.
Yeah, this is a big moment for FaZe Clan right now. They need to find a way to take down Bound before he's able to do too much damage, but he's got his eyes set on Royal 2, but the nade, the one shot is perfect. Royal 2 with another camo kill is massive for FaZe.
7 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock. Not a single flag cap on the board yet for either side. But what we do have is an S7 sniper in the hands of StelluR. I know you're a big fan and I can see why. That's a flank onto Renegade. Eco follows it up. Another 2 down for FaZe, and once again SSG, they're on the offense.
Eyes on SnakeBite as well. He knows where their sniper is. SnakeBite chooses to run under their base, and right now, Spacestation are able to get a pull, are able to continue that flag run. It's going to be Eco that got it all the way here. Pznguin's going to relay it around the corner, and right now it's StelluR and Pznguin. What can they do with this flag on the move? FaZe Clan respawners are starting to pick up some kills, and SSG need to be careful here because a counter cap situation often happens on Argyle.
SnakeBite right off his spawn was able to take down 2 members of SSG while they were running that flag, and with that we should see a return. StelluR going to try to make one last-ditch effort, but it's not going to happen for FaZe. 2 down for SSG.
And look at this, respawners in the back of the base, not where you want to be on SSG. You want to hopefully spawn out because right now you do not have a ton of angles to be able to stop this flag from moving. Pznguin's going to take the under route. He's going to be able to at least get behind Renegade, but look at how slow Frosty wants to play this. Actually, no one being there is actually going to fool Frosty. No one able to really impact that flag run. They do get the return, but in the meantime, SnakeBite secured the camo.
Pznguin found a great angle right there to be able to stop that flag, and ultimately Frosty was a heads up and knew that there was no point in giving up his life there, so stays alive. SnakeBite still was able to get away with the camouflage, but ends up over toward the mid-map. Not exactly where you want to be. Once again, SSG look to take control. Haven't quite found the flag just yet. Another round of slays is all that's needed.
Back and forth these two teams go. You have to think with 5 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, it's going to one day become a factor here very shortly, especially if one team can get a cap on the board here in the late game. It's probably going to be the first to 1, if not 2, with any objective success right now. But we haven't really seen a realistic flag run outside of what I would say the Space Station Gaming one was minutes ago, and even that very well defended by FaZe, a nice return, and what we really are looking for here is complete control of the map. 2 go down for SSG, a flag on the move, and if FaZe can get a couple more kills here, that would be massive for SnakeBite.
And SnakeBite able to repulse that flag right over towards his teammates, but he knows that the rest of SSG are slowly starting to move in position, so leaves that flag alone. Does excellent damage with the sidekick, not only on one, but on multiple players. Doesn't quite find the kill on them, but slows them down long enough for Frosty to make it all the way across the 50 with that flag. Nobody from SSG is gonna stop it. That flag's going in, the first one on the board, and it's FaZe.
SnakeBite, you madman, that was absolutely incredible to get that flag run started, but better to have the awareness that it is not your job to continue that flag run, but to stay alive, get your shield back, get a couple of kills, and now FaZe Clan have the lead.
Frosty not only getting the kill, but able to grapple that camouflage over. Or maybe not. It looks like Pznguin. Did Pznguin steal that camo right before
he did.
The grapple connected? I didn't even see it.
Well, Frosty missed the grapple on the camo, grappled a repulse, and in the meantime of trying to figure out what was going on, Pznguin comes underneath, steals the camo for himself, and let's see what SSG can do with this camouflage now that Frosty has got to be baffled and confused.
Yeah, I feel like more importantly, not only did Pznguin get the camouflage, but I don't think FaZe saw him pop it, so they had no idea where he can be, and because of that, ends up taking down 1 damage onto 2, takes down yet another 1, but 3 down for SSG. FaZe should be able to recover.
SnakeBite with a big double kill under a lot of pressure right there, able to release a lot of what would be the push from SSG, still having to deal with StelluR, and that's Frosty's job. He'll take it himself, finds StelluR on a street, able to take him down, and now with map control under 3 minutes, I should say, FaZe are able to play around this clock. I'd be surprised to see them be overly aggressive in any situation from here on out.
Royal 2 may have gone down, but he used that final bullet out of that sniper.
Flag on the move, though.
SnakeBite follows through. Frosty's already in position to control the mid-map, ends up taking down Eco. That's gonna be a big kill for them.
2 more dead.
Trailing, 2 more pushing up over towards the pistol side. Can SSG overextend fast enough?
they're not going to be able to get there. This is perfect, textbook, scrappy, efficient Halo from FaZe Clan. They got the first 2 kills. They get that flag on the move. I thought they played defensive. They're bringing it right to SSG. They're not comfortable with the 1-cap lead.
And not only that, but FaZe were able to put SSG 2 down and start yet another flag, which has been relayed here for Frosty. They're not happy with 1. They're not happy with 2. They're looking to put this out of reach.
Unfortunately, that flag might have been a little too greedy. 3 go down for FaZe. SnakeBite is going to get good damage on the Pznguin with the slow play here, but this is an opportunity. Hold up, all of a sudden, that flag run could be the mistake SSG needed from FaZe. And all of a sudden, Pznguin advancing this flag on the map. We saw this in the Sentinels versus Quadrant series earlier today. A double cap is possible, and right now with 2 members down, FaZe need to figure out a way to get control.
Not only were SSG able to capitalize on the counter pull, but also they're feeding off the energy from the crowd. There are a lot of Spacestation Gaming fans in the crowd, and you're hearing the chants. Only down by 1. A minute 19 seconds on the clock. Can SSG tie it up?
Pznguin with the snipe. He's been so spectacular this entire year when he's found his way to the S7. Unfortunately, Frosty is going to be able to take him down. A good trade, however, from Brown leaves them with numbers advantage for now, but then Eco gets taken down. Bound tries to take the low route. He gets sniffed out by Renegade, and the 1v1 duo traded out again.
Trading lives there, but like you said, every trade that happens on the board favors the team in the lead. Don't mess with the snake.
You'll get the fang. I've heard it a couple times now. I like that. I like that. That should be on a t-shirt someday.
37 seconds left. And SnakeBite, he's still going. This is why he's leading in KD. When he makes plays like that, he's hard to stop.
Best player in the game when he's on his A game, and he's going to need that for 3 straight games here in the Winners Bracket Finals. He brought it to Game 3, though. How many plays have we called him out? Right now, 17 seconds and counting, focused on denying a flag touch, but he's got a lot of pressure on him. Needs to hit 1 more. Does he do it? StelluR, goodbye, good night. And this is going to a Game 4 shortly, you'd have to think, but Bound finds himself a double, a body under Renegade. That SnakeBite snipe, but Bound is putting it to use with 3 of his own, and the flag on the move, the pie chart's out, and the FaZe Clan find a way to stop him before turning the corner, and SnakeBite's got a snipe moments away from a Game 4.
But it looks like Eco's gonna follow through, and that flag does make it through the corridor, all the way towards the computer side. We do see members of FaZe are starting to move in position, but nobody's quite there. Damage is out, so are the nades. It stopped just short. It's right there.
StelluR's gonna go for the touch. SnakeBite can't hit it. And we have overtime in Game 3. SSG have found a way.
3 minutes back on the clock. Next cap is gonna take it. We wanted to see a Game 4, but SSG, they got different plans in mind.
Bound making the plays to take 3 down, keep that flag on the move, and all of the Space Station have an opportunity now with the crowd behind them to end this game in 3.
Bound able to get away with that camouflage, but it stopped short immediately. Both teams end up going 2 down. StelluR gets away with the sniper, but the first flagpole is from SnakeBite here in FaZe. Body shot does end up connecting. That should be a return. Eco has a flag of his own. World 2 sitting up high, but that body shot onto him will slow him down. Renegade coming off the spawn. It looks like FaZe might be able to return this flag as well.
It's such an awkward situation. Both flags were actually out there, Tony. Both teams focusing on the defensive side to stop that flag. StelluR doing a phenomenal job to hit a lot of these body shots. And right now, SnakeBite, once again surrounded, is able to get a kill somehow in the 1v2 to deny this flag from being run. StelluR's gonna try and run it himself like a madman. He's able to trade it out. 3 members were coming off respawn for FaZe, but they're gonna spawn on that side of the map. Unfortunately, Eco couldn't read the respawners, and with that, that flag is out. But 1 member of FaZe falls off, and this flag gets a touch.
And with SnakeBite falling off the map, he cannot help but give the communication to the rest of his team as they have to fight for the return. StelluR wins the most important pivotal battle of this game. That flag is now moving forward. FaZe are 2 down. spawns coming in. It looks like SnakeBite was able to take down StelluR. Can they get the return? Like you said, it's 3 down for SSG.
We're looking at Pznguin, the last player alive. He looks like he's not going to make a play for this touch, I don't think. He knows multiple members are going to be over here, but as I say that, he flies out, gives up his life for maybe a last chance effort. As that fight does get returned, but Spacestation dumping every single body on that flag along the way. Tried as they might, they could not get the right amount of slays to get that flag in.
Bound does it, taking height with the repulse, but looks like World 2 able to bring him right back down to reality, but nobody counted for Eco. Active camouflage is in play. This could be a flag cap for SSG if they play it the right way.
I like this. He scavenges those plasma grenades, and now he's going to look to push in the window. A little bit of help from Pznguin along the way. Pngwin's able to get a kill. Eco finds a second. 2 down for FaZe. Eco in your base with camo. This is where it could get ugly because this is how dangerous the camo flag run can be. Forces the hands of FaZe, and right now Renegade needs to make a play. Big shots, even better teamwork out of FaZe to stop this dead in its tracks.
Camouflage running out at the worst time there, so now the flag stopped right in front of the spawning players coming out of FaZe, but hold on. 3 down for SSG. Pznguin gonna do everything he can to try to keep this flag alive, but I'm not sure it's worth it. He's at a 1v2, and eventually the return does come out. FaZe once again survives.
These flag runs from SSG are just so terrifying to try and deal with. There seems to always be one more player trying to get a touch. It almost seems like an act of desperation, but with how efficient they're able to get that touch and a kill with it, it keeps it alive for so long. It's got to have FaZe on their last nerve.
Minute and 30 seconds on the clock here in overtime. If we don't see a flag cap, we will go into double overtime where it's 1 flag to take it. Still enough time for something to happen here. SnakeBite obviously aware of it, a couple extra shots up to the first. Ends up putting damage onto StelluR, trusts his teammate to finish out that kill, and now the challenging Bound runs into the damage coming in from that grenade, and the rest of FaZe, that teamwork is working out. They're winning these engagements for Spacestation Gaming. That might convert to a flagpole.
With SnakeBite playing like he is, 28, 11, and 20, but more importantly, just absolutely on fire with the snipe. You kind of want to see it in his hands, but as I say that, Frosty has found himself a snipe and made his way onto the kill feed with it. Camouflage is going to be up, and I do believe we just saw SnakeBite grapple it to himself. So if we can hop on board with him, I'd love to be able to see what they're able to do with this new camo.
SnakeBite and Renegade running in tandem at the moment. SnakeBite is camouflaged out. 1-shot Eco onto the Mohawk side. Hopefully this grenade bounces off that wall. Eco stays alive, and it looks like because of that, Renegade and SnakeBite not able to pull this flag. In fact, StelluR is coming in with the sniper, but StelluR ends up going down. 3 down, make it all 4 members down for SSG. This could be it.
The one thing I want to say is SnakeBite did not pick up that snipe that he took out from StelluR's hands. Is StelluR going to go back and have an opportunity to take SnakeBite out with this snipe?
This might be it. The flag makes it over toward the snipe side. Over on the pedestal, he's gonna try to dive it in, not able to make it. It's still out there, it still could be saved, but World 2 down to 1 shot. He's being repulsed right off the map. Sayonara, 3 down for FaZe. This could be, this is bad. West, this is bad.
Pznguin gets the return, can't get the flag out the window, but the play has been made. SSG coming off respawn, make this so doable. All of a sudden, a couple more kills have allowed reinforcements. Eco in the base, a flag on the streets. Now eyes set on the prize, but he's got multiple players of FaZe focused on not letting him advance this flag, and the pie chart's gonna run out. Unfortunately, maybe a blunder from them, but maybe the only blunder that they could afford, as we're gonna have a complete reset of this map and a first to the first cap.
What a game. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was it. The flag was right there, but that repulse from Pznguin, knocking him right off the map, it is crazy. Mind the gaps happened, but I mean, how big of a mind the gap medal was that?
And how frustrated are you if you're FaZe? How perfect of a situation did that look like for everyone on FaZe? The positioning, the slays, the flag on the move, everything going right. But somehow Pznguin gets there. He stops the flag runner the first time. He repulses the second player off the map in Royal 2. And Pznguin showing you exactly what he brings to the table. Might not have been a positive KD ratio, but the play to keep his team in this one. As stats up on the board, it's Frosty and SnakeBite leading the way as far as kills are concerned, but every single one of those players on that stage had such a pivotal play somewhere throughout that game that got us to where we are, double OT.
And in case you haven't been paying attention, this is your winner's bracket final. The winner of this makes it into the grand finals. Both of these teams are guaranteed top 3 in the tournament, but neither one of these teams are satisfied with that. They both have championship aspirations, and as of right now, it's SSG that still have FaZe on the ropes. If they win this, one flag cap is all that's necessary. If it goes in the way of SSG, FaZe are getting knocked down to the elimination bracket.
And SSG finally have the position they've been wanting all along ever since this team has really been formed. They haven't had the luxury of going through the winner's bracket. It is always an opportunity to double reset the bracket in the grand finals that they're forced to try and deal with, and because of that, they haven't been able to claim their trophy. Is this the tournament they finally get rid of all the demons that have haunted them for months now, several years at this point, and find a way to get the job done? You know they're capable of it, but you gotta figure a way out to close these games out, and they have stayed in this game and in this series, but they need to figure out a way to stop FaZe from advancing to a game 4, to a game 5, because the longer you keep them in here, the more dangerous these guys become.
We just watched 15 minutes of Argyle, and I gotta ask you.
15? It was like 18.
That sudden death was a little bit, it was a little extra, but what exactly did you see from either one of these teams that maybe they can improve on? Maybe they just have to tweak just a bit in order to secure the win. Remember, it's only one flag cap that's needed in order to take it.
I mean, I think from FaZe, things looked good a majority of the time. You had a lot of camouflage, you had a lot of snipes to play around, but the big thing is you let that one player slip through a couple of times that stopped the cap dead to its rights. And in all honesty, that's a very fixable thing. For SSG, how scrappy they were, it was giving FaZe a little bit of trouble, but FaZe always had an answer for it. Eventually, it felt like FaZe was going to break. Like somebody on SSG was going to get a double as one of those flags were out, and they were trying to get those scrappy touches. All it takes is one player getting a double, and then all of a sudden that flag is still on the move. And SSG feel like they cheated FaZe out of what is a flag cap on Argyle CTF, where you nearly always have to have a perfect setup. SSG proving that might not be the case.
SSG was doing a great job of countering the maneuvers that FaZe have been able to throw at him. Every single flag that they made it over to where the long one seemed like a counter off of FaZe's pulls. If they can do it once again, maybe they can take the win, but be careful, because FaZe only need one good 3 down, one good 4 down, and they can turn those tables.
Speaking of B, let's watch him. StelluR on your screen, the young lion himself, finding himself a body shot onto Frosty. And SSG start this one off with a little bit of momentum, kills in their favor, and he's gonna advance with this snipe to about the midway point, and this is where StelluR becomes dangerous.
World 2 versus StelluR with the sniper, but looks like Pznguin was able to take down World 2, so now StelluR momentarily having the only sniper on the map, but his teammates are quickly going down. That's gonna force StelluR to reposition.
Good defense by FaZe there. It was the first real push we've seen so far in this remade game, and Spacestation, they're gonna have to come off respawn. They haven't been able to advance on the map, however, as FaZe. And right now, they need to be careful, because StelluR with the snipe can once again just open the floodgates for the rest of SSG.
Just barely missing both of those shots, but eventually they start to connect. SnakeBite catches the body shot from the S7. Bound off a screen, was able to take down Renegade, so that's going to allow SSG to push up just a bit. Eco's already in the pistol side, trading out his life, and StelluR, he's just looking for the right angle.
Frosty and StelluR have snipes. What else could you ask for as fans? As Frosty pulls out his BR to find a kill in the kill feed. Right now, StelluR patiently playing his position, not too involved with any of the action that's been going on. He's 1-0 right now, but eventually, patience, it always pays off, and StelluR takes down Frosty.
You always tell me that StelluR is one of your favorite players to watch, and I see why, especially when he has that sniper, but only 2 bullets left. Can they convert this to a flagpole?
1 bullet to play around now, StelluR. It's about time we push up, and that's gonna be the opening. Frosty, he gets taken out. It's a 3-3 split, and unfortunately, though, he's forced to try and run away. SnakeBite's able to take him down. A 3-1-1 start, continuing the KD ratio streak for SnakeBite as World 2's able to grapple that camouflage to him. And FaZe Clan with their power up and power weapon control we saw that they were able to have so much success with this last time around. Let's see if that's the same case.
Like a boxing match, so far we've only seen jabs being thrown right now, but this camouflage, it can be the haymaker that they're looking for. Connects onto one. Not quite enough. Momentary 3v3 scenario, and Royal 2, he's trying to get more value out of the active camo.
I'd like to see him be aggressive and push into the base, but as I say that, the camouflage runs out. He's spotted, he's taken down. StelluR, once again, just anchoring so well so far for SSG. FaZe cannot find an opening, even with the power up in their hands.
SSG have been able to slow this down to their pace. This is what they wanted to see, but with half the members of SSG on the black screen, they got to make something happen.
This man is playing like a snail right now. Slow as they come. But all it takes is a couple of players to get spotted by him, a couple of shots to get hit, and SSG will jump on their moment. There's Royal 2 to start, and that could be where StelluR advances past the halfway mark for the first time here in overtime, able to find a second kill. Frosty, he's going down. And if he can find Royal 2 on these back nades, this flag will be on the move shortly.
Momentary 4 down, turns to a 3 down as they continue to apply the pressure here. StelluR can't quite find the kill onto Royal 2. He's gonna get removed off the map immediately. Bound is making his way onto the basement side, finds the one-shot Renegade. You still see Spacestation Gaming applying pressure. They're still in the base of FaZe, but the battle's not done yet.
SnakeBite with some big shots, followed up by Frosty to trade out what would be the Spacestation members under their base, and right now the teamwork for FaZe to flush out these SSG members of their base. Their defense stands strong once again, and a phenomenal job by FaZe that was under a lot of pressure with your winner's bracket on the line right there. They figured a way out of it.
We're still in double overtime, so it only takes one flag cap in order to make it through. SSG can advance to the grand finals with this win. We did see the active camouflage up. We do see both snipers up as well. Frosty, the first one to get the kill onto SSG. A momentary advantage, but will it be enough?
Royal 2 trying to play his life over there. We're going to hop on board with Renegade, who's activated this most recent camouflage. He knows Bounce under his base with the snipe, so he's forced to go back and play defensive with this camo. And Renegade gives up his position right now. Kind of stuck out in the open, too. Needs to be careful. But they do take down Bound, and even more importantly, Royal 2 somehow still alive at the enemy base. Gets this flag all the way to high elbow. And that could be an opportunity for the follow-up here from Frosty and Renegade.
Frosty going to follow through and toss that flag out. He knows that Eco is trailing, so he deals with Eco quickly. Even gets the second kill, so that's a double by Frosty. The third one almost goes down, but down to one shot he goes. The flag is still going to be moved because of it. Frosty's falling off the map, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. SnakeBite gets it towards the base. No damage being taken, and that's it. FaZe taking game 3.
We have ourselves the series, ladies and gentlemen. FaZe get the job done. They extend this series at least one more game. And guess what does it? Scrappy plays by almost the guy you'd least expect to play Scrappy objective. It's Royal 2 behind enemy lines once again. Getting a kill, getting a touch to at least get that flag on the move, taking a page out of SSG's book, and now it keeps FaZe in this series. And like we said, Tony, the longer FaZe keep extending this series, when it gets to that game 5 or that game 7, they're the iciest to ever do it. You do not want to find yourself having your 50 kills decide the difference between your opportunity in this tournament.
I love the fact that you talked about that Royal 2 starting that play, but can we just give the full team effort there as well?
Everybody got a touch.
Exactly. Royal 2 gets it over towards the computer side. Frosty, despite the fact that SSG are 3 down, runs the flag just a bit, turns around, gets the double kill. Eventually, he falls off the map while doing it, but SnakeBite relays it to you. You're talking about 3 members of FaZe involved in that flag, and one mistake, that doesn't go through, and we saw what SSG do when you make mistakes.
I'm pretty sure even Renegade touched the flag at some point in between the high elbow and the PC. We'd have to see everyone.
I think Royal 1 touched it.
Yeah. You might as well. Everybody contributing there to get the job done. And that is something that we have always talked about is FaZe's weakness, their efficiency with objective, their willingness to give up some of their lives to be a little scrappy. And as we take a look at the highlights, there were a ton of them from Frosty, SnakeBite, StelluR, Bound. Everybody was hitting shots with the snipe, but it is that scrappy objectiveness that makes the difference. And that was something that FaZe were so vocal about coming into this tournament. We want to get better at objectives. We know we won the last tournament because our Slayers were dominant, but our objectives need to be cleaned up. We need to find ways to where we don't have to outslay a team like SSG to beat them in the objectives, because you cannot expect to outslay a team like SSG every time.
But it took you a double overtime in order to get that win. Going into the next objective, I don't think we want to see a double overtime. I think we still need to see that cleaner objective, which easier said than done. SSG, one of the most objective efficient teams that we have in the league. It's not their objective offense, it's also their objective defense.
And sometimes it is those long extended games as a player that'll just cost you so much mental. Like, those ones hurt to lose more than any other game, because you put more energy, you put more time into that one game than any other. So SSG need to figure out a way to rebound here, because that long game, it gave FaZe Clan a lot of confidence they didn't have after leaving that live fire strongholds. They didn't have after leaving that Street Slayer. What was the first two games were predominantly dictated by SSG about midway after game one. FaZe Clan really dictated a lot of the pace there on Argyle CTF, and as we move our eyes onto Streets Oddball, pay attention to who dictates the pace early on of this first round, because that is a very important factor going in for FaZe Clan fans to see in their advantage, and SSG to say, okay, we're right back where we wanted in the driver's seat.
If you're Space Station Gaming, you're up 2-1 in the series, and like you said, it may have been a tough matchup, but you have no time to hang your head low. That's what you're playing for right there. You saw that trophy. It was beautiful. You have to take down FaZe here. We talked about it before. Winners bracket finals obviously isn't the end of the tournament, but how hard is it to reset the bracket when you get to the grand finals? How hard is it to then win after a reset? And to be honest, how hard is it to make it out of the elimination bracket finals to get in that position? The team that wins here may be the team that wins the tournament.
I want nothing to do with that quadrant team that's in that lower bracket right now. That's for damn sure. The world is on their side, and when that happens, magical things happen when that many people want something. It's almost like the willpower. It's an extra level of energy that team is playing with. And right now, you know, both these two teams want to advance from the winners bracket, not only for their sake of having that advantage in the grand finals, but staying away from that hot quadrant team. I want someone else to take rid of them, because I don't want to see them again. But as we take a look at those stats, it's the duo that's been doing it for a very long time. It's a 1.81, a 1.82 for SnakeBite and Royal 2. And who better to show up in a grand final series on a championship Sunday than two of the best to ever do it?
And obviously that was on Capture the Flag, and we're going to Oddball next, but I promise you that slaying does transfer. When you're holding that ball over towards one side of the map, you need your Slayers that are able to bait out those positions and play every situation right to get those kills in order for you to hold on to those setups. So watch out. If SnakeBite and Royal 2 are playing like that, we may just be going to a game 5.
And look at this. This stat says it all, right? We have the first and the second best oddball teams here in this tournament going up against each other. It's no surprise that both these two teams are playing in the finals. But if this tells you anything, give SSG just a little bit of a leeway here as far as being the favorite. 3-0 is better than 2-0. That's simple math even you can do, Tony.
All right, well, 1, 2, 7.
And first is higher than second, something else that you can wrap your head around. I know, just dive into those numbers right in.
All you had to do was play one ball, by the way, I'm just saying. But either way.
One more second.
Either way, it is. I will give a little extra flowers to SSG, like you said, because I've been doing the stats for both of these teams for quite some time, and FaZe have been sneakily very good at oddball for a very long time. I know it may not be their favorite game type, but they always seem to win on. They've been very good for a long time. Meanwhile, SSG, that was one of their Achilles heels. They were struggling with oddball over towards the early this year, and now we see them up 3-0 so far and undefeated. So are FaZe.
And as we get loaded into this game, I want to wrap up back to the initial story of some of the storylines that we come into this tournament with. FaZe Clan wanting to work on their objectives. What I have seen from FaZe Clan this weekend is a distribution equally across the team in oddball, something that honestly I hadn't seen from them in their entire Halo careers. You got Royal 2 with the oddball. I don't know what the hell's going on, but hopefully we see some more of that. If we want this series to go the distance, I know I do. I love myself a championship Sunday game 5. And we're going to decide if we get there here in 3 rounds of oddball on the streets.
I've been dying to say this. I've been dying to say it all tournament long.
Okay.
When you're looking for a fight, you take it to the streets, and that's exactly where we're going to. Potentially the final time we're going to see FaZe here in the winner's bracket final. Space Station still one game away from advancing forward.
SnakeBite, StelluR, they traded out. Right now the ball on the move, but even better, Eco finding himself rockets, traded out, trades across the board, but Pznguin gonna try and find himself those rockets. Oh, unfortunately can't take himself out for FaZe fans, but Pznguin does such a good job to angle himself to where he will stay alive. The ball is gonna be in FaZe's favor, no more rockets to play around, but no oddball acquired as the battle for map control still goes underway.
Right as Pznguin makes it over toward the purple side of the map, you do see his teammate go down as a cafe, so he's gonna do as much damage as possible. Takes down one, takes down two, even does the damage to the oddball. He was involved in all 4 of the kills that went back to back to back to back for SSG.
Putting his old teammate in the grave right there. Pznguin wins a big one-on-one where Renegade had the advantage, had the first shot, and that has awarded Space Station the first initial setup of this game. It's going to be a tram setup. If we know anything about SSG, I have a strong memory here that they are very good at holding this setup if they can get the first couple of kills.
Ball back over toward the subway side, and it's Pznguin that's being the gatekeeper for anybody to make it through. Can't quite find the melee. Quickly shrouds out to get out of that situation, but he is chased down, and 2 kills go in favor of FaZe.
Eco needs to make sure that this ball at least gets played. He's got 2 members, make it 3 against him right now, and the last player alive is Bounds. He's taken out, and that ball is kept in the back of trim. You want to talk about playing the ball, Tony. You want to get that ball into a better location to compete for it coming off respawn, because now FaZe will have that exact opportunity at a setup.
Every second worth of ball time that goes in the favor of FaZe right now is because that ball wasn't played off, but ain't many seconds been added. FaZe 3 hit the black screen, and SSG are already moving in position.
And we'll get a start from Eco Smith, 7-1-2, objective player of the tournament for a reason. Not only does he have his team's entire ball time right now outside of the 1 point from Bound, I'd say, but he's also leading them in slays by almost double. Eco landing his mark here in game 4.
Whew. Eco tried to get out of that situation, but the nades, rockets, and Stalker just too much for him to make it out of the trash side of the map, and because of that, FaZe rotate that ball back over to Subway. World 2 has that Stalker, so he says, hold on to this ball for me real quick. I got some damage to do.
Fair enough, Royal 2. Let's see what you can do. Let's hop on board with the Stalker rifle, as he is going to get 1 player weak. Unfortunately, these grenades are going to be so difficult to try and dodge. Multiple players from FaZe backed into a corner, but they get their shield back here. They're surrounded by SSG. Unfortunately, help doesn't appear to be on the way, as FaZe are going to have to fight their way out of this one with several players back. Ivy, Royal 2 is able to find 1, but he finds himself by himself. And what does he do from here?
SSG successfully able to clear FaZe out of the subway side. You do see some players starting to trickle in right off of spawn. FaZe are trying to get into position before SSG complete their setup, but 1 player running right past Eco. Teamwork from Frosty and SnakeBite able to take him down, and now with that StelluR forced to drop the ball over toward the back C side, they're gonna have to fight.
2 players still to deal with, and Bound cuts off reinforcements and Frosty right there, so it's a 2v3 situation right now. All 4 down for FaZe as they get put on respawn across the map. SSG are able to keep this ball in hand and build up yet again another 20-point lead.
It's 44-26 in favor of Space Station Gaming, and they're still adding to it, but a stray grenade might do more damage than Eco was expecting. He's gonna throw a couple of denial grenades back to try to deny access from FaZe to taking him down. Bound is there, rockets are coming up. Can SSG manage both?
Rockets are coming up. So difficult to try and acquire these rockets when you do have the ball in hand, so Eco's gonna drop it. SnakeBite able to trade a kill out, but that last rocket gonna go into the hands of Renegade. But this ball time, Eco's been able to acquire the difference so far in this game. 42 seconds to his name, and a perfect rotation on the way.
When did Renegade go from Kobe Bryant to like Jason Kidd? Now you got the assist going right now. Only 1 kill to his name, but 9 assists to go along with it. Renegade switching up the roles just a bit with this Stalker. I can imagine a couple of kills that go in favor of himself. Taking down Pznguin from across the map, gets himself that coveted wingman medal, and he's not done going after the former duo. He's putting damage onto everyone on the map.
So much damage. Can you clean it up? Can you continue to keep numbers in your advantage right now? That's the name of the game. Trying to hold an oddball setup, and unfortunately an overstep from Renegade there as he doesn't expect a player to be jumping up at him as a player is caught B stairs. And with that, that's going to ruin FaZe's setup, but they've done such a good job to get this to just a 3-point game still for SSG.
This ball, they're trying to rotate over toward the subway side. Looks like they're successfully able to do that because they squad wipe FaZe. That's a complete setup now coming for Spacestation Gaming. A long rotation having to be made by FaZe, and you see SSG already have reticles trained on the overextenders. This is big for them.
They know a player's back tower as well. They're trying to deal with him in the meantime. Look at this ball time being acquired. Pznguin up to 30 seconds of his own, but more importantly, just about a 30-point lead. What was once 3, this setup has gotten 30 unanswered points now for SSG, leading the round, dictating the pace from the lead at all times. And right now, FaZe need to figure out a way to string a couple of kills together and get this ball secured in order to get back in this first round.
FaZe desperately needed those kills and desperately needed that play ball. Otherwise, SSG were going to end it here for round number 1. Minute 25 seconds on the clock. Both these teams will be fighting for that control. Both teams go 2 down, but Bound finds SnakeBite, puts a couple of shots in him, and he should be cleaned up. Bait and switch just too strong, but that ball resets.
What a perfect play by Bound to get involved when you're no shield, but to play your life and stay alive. Now he's being a thorn in the side of FaZe Clan right now until he's taken out with that rocket. The second rocket doesn't do any damage from Royal 2 right there, and that is big because that double kill, although he does find it with the nade, would open up the map for a rotation into Tram as we're seeing now.
Big rotation out of SnakeBite, and there's only one more player of SSG that can move into position. And as we see that damage come in, SnakeBite quickly drops off that ball, grabs a hold of the Stalker, looks to put to work, but down to one shot. Royal 2 goes. SSG able to find the kills that they're looking for. Subway side is cleared, and that ball is staying here.
And what looked like should have been a potential setup to try and get this game back to a tied position, it's taken out fairly easily, fairly quickly. And SSG now, with 40 seconds on the clock, have a 20-point lead. They not only get to play from the lead of ball time, but the clock in their favor is another win condition on the board for the round 1.
And we've seen SSG do this time and time again. They put you between the shot clock and the scoreboard, especially here on streets, whether it's King of the Hill, whether it's Oddball, we've seen them do it. 3 down for FaZe, 18 seconds left. We're gonna see them push that ball further over toward the subway side and make FaZe's rotation even longer.
Nobody from FaZe is going to be able to get there. If you try, you got to go through Bound. And right now, that is not happening with 2 fresh respawners going down. Bound spots the last 2 players. The clock will hit 0. And SSG showcase you that their objective still strong as ever. Take round 1, show you the difference between the first and the second best oddball team we have here on the circuit.
1 round away from making it into the grand finals. FaZe, they need to respond, and so far the audience is not on their side.
SSG chants continue in the crowd right now. Rockets is the name of the game at the start of these street games, and Bound with the Stalker rifle in hand has the advantage, at least the DPS advantage to try and acquire them. Unfortunately, not the man advantage this time around, as Frosty has been able to take down a couple of his teammates, fires a rocket, takes down Bound, the ball in FaZe's hands, and finally, for the first time in this game 4, FaZe will have the lead to play from.
This is the response you wanted to see out of FaZe. Early ball control and rockets in hands. You see a 15-0 run, and SSG aren't even in position. Finally, the damage starts to come in for Frosty. We see SnakeBite, the first one to go down, but with the Stalker, he can change the tides quick. Goes right after Bound and still has 1 rocket to work with. Just barely missing that angle.
Yeah, I can't quite find the timing on StelluR, and StelluR's actually on the flank. A beautiful turn from Frosty, but a much needed one. You want to be able to kill StelluR much quicker, because look at that, StelluR's damage is capitalized on because reinforcements have time to get there, and all of a sudden that rocket in your back pocket could have been used a little bit quicker in order to create some space and maybe a better opportunity for FaZe, but instead keeps the game even.
The rocket in the back pocket wasn't enough to lock it down. Okay, I'll stop.
You see what I did there?
15-0 run here for FaZe. Another rocket coming up real quick, and Bounds able to make money moves over toward the ATM side. It's a big rotation with that ball. Even does damage before going down. SSG not going to be able to follow through with it. They actually were 3 members on the black screen.
2 still in the dark screen as the rotation of the ball for the first time in this game going to be back tower. I actually like this from FaZe. Let's flex it out a little bit. Let's showcase multiple setups against the Space Station team. Keep that ball away from Tram. Space Station have proven they are the stronger Tram setup team so far. And as rockets come up, the Shroud gets put out. And SSG acquire that set of rockets. They put it to use, and once again, the setup for FaZe gets broken. But you do have a 35-point lead to play around, but Renegade picks up potentially the biggest kill of this round so far, takes down StelluR, and plays his life fairly well.
The missed rock is going to turn into a couple of slays going in favor of FaZe, but it's still SSG that are on the A side of the map, which is exactly where the ball's at. As we start to see some more frags coming in for SSG, we see them quickly moving into the ball, not allowing it to reset whatsoever, and now SSG getting into a full A-side setup.
You're looking for who gets the first pick here. Bound gonna hold on to the ball until he understands that multiple members are pushed up from FaZe. It's gonna be SnakeBite landing that first blood. It is traded out by Bound. A phenomenal job to drop the ball by him. He's gonna be able to grenade predictively. Renegade's gonna try and rush him, and with those few kills, SSG are going to be able to take away every bit of this lead. FaZe have earned themselves a phenomenal play back-to-back-to-back here from Bound. The rotation, the ball time, the kills, playing perfectly here into his hands.
Gotta love the target prioritization here coming from Bound to be able to drop that ball, put in the damage, go right back to the ball play, puts the AR to work. Finally, Bound, the first one to go down onto the PD side. FaZe, they gotta follow through with it though. Pznguin able to grab hold of that ball once again. SnakeBite wants to do the damage just to stop this push, just to buy some time for the rest of FaZe to push up, but he is not getting the help he's looking for. He is isolated and in between three members of Space Station Gaming. World 2 coming out of nowhere. SnakeBite finally goes down, and finally here comes the cavalry.
This push gets broken because SnakeBite had 3 players on him for so long. Right now you need to take down StelluR though. Frosty with a massive double kill on screen, trying to finish Eco, at least get some damage onto him, but somehow, someway, FaZe still not able to get the right amount of trades in their favor to break this setup. So you brought the ball to this side of the map. SSG show you that they can play from anywhere as they continue to hold map control. Soon, the points will be in their favor as well.
Small lead coming in for FaZe, but it's still SSG that have that advantage, and it's SSG that find that ball once again. World 2 fires out the prediction rocket, does the damage onto Eco, but doesn't quite kill him. Gets the assist onto the A side, taking down Bound, so that's 2 quickly going down in favor of FaZe. They can deal with the third one. This could be a setup for FaZe.
Got to find a way to take down StelluR now. Actually, 10 seconds ago, StelluR able to trade with Frosty, and because he's able to make something out of nothing, finds himself a double kill in a 1-on-3 situation. It was a great setup break once again from FaZe, but reinforcements once again here for SSG, and they're in the name of Bound. They've taken the lead here. They have map control in their favor, and with this red gun, Bound can go to work.
3 down for FaZe. SSG continue to find the kills that they are looking for, and with that, they take a lead. 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock. Time is winding down, and because of that, you see FaZe start to get aggressive onto the A side, but SSG, they strike right back.
I want to see FaZe be able to get some kind of a map control, but so far, this is all SSG trading just 1 extra player in their favor every single time. It's why they've been able to come back. It was 37 to like 1 at one point. Now it's 46-37. Ever since FaZe have been playing retake, they have not been able to officially get all 4 members down of SSG.
Just 9 seconds worth of ball time between these 2 juggernauts and 51 seconds on the clock. FaZe do find that ball, but Pznguin finds himself a perfect kill. 2 more members of FaZe right in front of him, so he's in a hightail it right out of here. They need to play for the Rockets.
Roll 2 coming off respawn, might have an angle on this Rocket player. Unfortunately, he's going to turn the corner, and 2 kills go in their favor, maybe make it 3, as Pznguin still hasn't used a rocket, uses both, but the double kill will come through. 4 down for FaZe, and SSG with the setup and 42 seconds on the clock will force everything out of FaZe to try and get this round win.
FaZe need to make something happen, otherwise it's gonna be SSG that go to the grand finals. Time is winding down once again. You see multiple members of FaZe start to move in position, but multiple members being sent to the kill feed. Eco goes down. That's exactly what FaZe is looking for.
This is it. Can you get the last kill that's caution? Can you get the ball and find a way to get the lead? 19 seconds on the clock, and you need some kills. Royal 2 goes down, StelluR as well. So it's a 3-on-3 situation. I love the rotation from SnakeBite, but even more work to do as he gets 5 points within the lead.
He wants to pass that ball over toward the purple side, but Renegade is in an individual gunfight, able to win it onto his former teammate. War 2 follows through, and here we go. SnakeBite taking down StelluR, putting him in a blender. That puts Spacestation Gaming 4 down, and with just a few seconds left, it looks like we have a tied-up game, and we're going to round 3.
Oh my God, SnakeBite does it again. 4 perfect shots. No shield, no problem. Position perfect, the rotation. Name a better player to ever do it. I'll wait.
I promise you, if FaZe win this some way, somehow, I'm voting SnakeBite for MVP. He's been phenomenal all tournament long, but even all series long here in the winners bracket finals.
Yeah. Round 3. Do we see a game 5? Let's see who's gonna tell us the answers here. Frosty with 31, Royal 2 30, Bound has 30 of his own. But right now, the Slays favor FaZe Clan minorly as Renegade's found himself the Rockets and the ball is in their hands. This is where FaZe will get momentum.
They said you want answers, but if the question is, can FaZe bounce back? Can FaZe bring a different energy? Apparently the answer is yes. Then they start off with the early lead to FaZe, but finally the Rocket player in Renegade goes down. We still have a couple members of FaZe to deal with, but SSG are already here, and the interception!
Pznguin with the catch. 3 go down for FaZe. The setup broken, but more importantly, the denial of the play ball. Pznguin shows you he's got a little bit up his sleeve as well.
I can't believe that not only Pznguin get that kill, but stretches his arm back like Odell Beckham to snatch that ball out of the sky, making sure there was no play ball whatsoever coming out of FaZe, and now they're going to follow up through it. That's a big shotgun kill coming out of Bound. Now continues to apply pressure onto Renegade, who has nowhere to go. Frosty's down to 1 shot. He's going to have to back down as well. Look at all of that time and control coming in from SSG from that 1 play.
A 1-point lead for SSG, but Bound looking to go on a rampage right now with this Bulldog. He's finally taken down. And as I say that, FaZe look like they're going to have numbers advantage towards this off ball. Royal 2 with ball in hand, going to start to extend the lead. Does the stick come through? Phenomenal trade there from Renegade to keep his team rolling in the lead.
FaZe once again taking that lead and taking control, but Royal 2 biting off a bit more than he can chew. It looks like SnakeBite, watching that angle like a rook on the chessboard, was able to follow up and grab Rockets because of it. Rockets onto the purple side. StelluR may have the ball, but it looks like SnakeBite is infiltrating. Down to 1 shot. SnakeBite has to stay alive.
1 Rocket to play around. There's a player behind him as well, and unfortunately, although FaZe Clan are able to get the Rockets, the flank is perfect for Miko. They negate that Rocket story with that power curve that would have been FaZe's opportunity to blow this round wide open. And with a couple more kills over here towards the cafe, Eco can get his team a setup and right back in this.
Excellent grenade by Frosty, but it looks like 2 members of SSG, which is too much for him to deal with. The rest of FaZe are starting to cheek away, trying to chip away at the damage and the shields of SSG, but no kills yet. Oh, as I say that, back-to-back kills go for FaZe. It looks like they're able to put them 3 down, do FaZe, and it looks like Royal 2 takes down the 4th one. That should be some good ball time for FaZe Clan.
Frosty trying to get it away from Bound and does a good job to get into a position where when Bound goes for it, he gets instantly native. Look at the util use out of FaZe right there. The drop wall, the spike grenades, the grenade placement onto Bound, everything going in their favor right now. Spacestation just want to shoot their guns, but unfortunately the utility, the equipment just coming out on the side of FaZe right now. They have been able to get a few kills in their favor and acquire this ball since then, and Pznguin looks to tie this one up.
Sometimes it's not just about playing the objective, it's about using it as bait, and they were able to do just that. But since then, SSG do have a setup. Bound taking down 1, but SnakeBite comes right back in. Spacestation Gaming doing a great job of chasing FaZe out of the A side. Finally, they find that ball once again. FaZe just distracted them, trying to hold them off and keep that ball out of their hands.
SSG are going to take the lead. Bound spotted in PD as well. SnakeBite trying to get a shield back and get a successful push. They had numbers momentarily, but now squad spawns are going to give SSG the opportunity to have a 4-on-4. Unfortunately, SnakeBite, with the use of the Shroud, has been able to get out of dodge with rockets, and now this 4-on-4 are going to be a little difficult for SSG to try to hold.
If numbers are even and you have the rockets, that gives you a big advantage, and you see it right then. Takes down Bound. Let's get a little 180 onto Eco. The ball forcibly resetting, but FaZe are spawning right up on the purple side of the map.
That's okay, they have shotgun control. They're gonna immediately grab it, and with the last 2 players alive for SSG, they stay alive. But unfortunately, an overextension from SnakeBite is gonna ruin this setup opportunity. It's difficult to hold the ball shotgun side of the map, and that's the open floodgates of SSG. It is 3 down for SSG, however. Great job trading it out from that disadvantageous position. But right now, Bound, last player alive, just tries to put the ball anywhere where his team can compete, and that's Eco's answer to try and deny space for FaZe.
SSG doing a great job of applying pressure onto FaZe and keeping them moving and not allowing them to set up. Before you get that setup locked in, you gotta keep the pressure on. That's exactly what SSG were doing at the moment here, and that's the reason why they have a setup of their own. Now, FaZe, right through the PD side, SnakeBite trades out his life, and now World 2 has to stay alive in PD.
Both the first 2 rounds go down to time. Right now with 1:40 on the clock, just about both teams over the 15-point mark, but as each kill and point becomes more crucial to whether or not this series gets extended, I would expect that clock to become a factor.
Oh, Bound trying to put his 43rd kill on the board. Problem is, you ran into a demon, and Renegade taking down his former duo, passing that ball off. He has some damage to do. Perfect shots onto Eco, and comes in for the double. Renegade, the demon strikes back once again.
2 big kills, the ball being rotated, but Bound shuts it down. Last player alive is Frosty, trying to deny Bound from getting onto this oddball right now. Bound wanting to take down Frosty and get this ball back into Tram. We've seen how much success SSG can have with it here. And in the meantime, Eco's found himself some rockets. This is exactly how SSG in this series with this setup.
Rockets and ball over with the subway side, and Frosty just barely avoiding that rocket, but StelluR still there to take him down. World 2 tries to take height. That rocket going all the way down to the mid-map. Definitely did not hit its target.
A bucket rocket could cost you the game and maybe the series as we go to potentially look towards a game 5. 10 points separate the 2, 50 seconds on the clock right now, but FaZe in a commanding position on the map, look to be aggressive. Renegade maybe too aggressive, overextends, doesn't expect Pznguin to be there to help his teammate out, and because they're able to trade that out in their favor, this ball becomes neutralized, and once again, FaZe will have to break the Tram setup of SSG.
This is a critical point in the game with, like you said, a little over 30 seconds on the clock and the timer being so close to each other as far as the scoreboard. This next engagement could decide it. Pznguin taking a lot more damage than expected. Ball does end up being played, but FaZe are surrounding that ball. SSG nowhere to be found.
22 seconds on the clock. Do you play time? Do you try to get a few more points? It looks like FaZe kind of opted to try and get these last 15 points. Ball in hand, one last push, 2 go down already for SSG, and Bound wants to make a play. A kill on the Renegade's a great start, but Frosty, you trade him out, and 95 and climbing 3 seconds away, and we're going to a game 5.
We are going to a game 5 here in your winners bracket finals. FaZe looking to pull off the reverse sweep.
Oh, baby, every single time these 2 meet up on Championship Sunday, it's a special one, and why would this one be anything less than everything we wanted as a crowd? 2-2, a 2-0 lead for SSG. You're wondering where that went. Well, FaZe showed you in games 3 and 4. Resiliency is the name of the game. Scrappy, objective play will get the job done. And now 50 kills will separate the 2 teams from a grand finals appearance.
It's only right that we see another game 5 here. Was back at Dallas here in the winners bracket finals, again back at Dallas, and went to that game 5. Even the grand finals went to an elimination game. In that case, it was a game 7, and we are going to see another do or die here on StelluR. But this time, SSG, they're looking a lot better on StelluR than they were at Dallas.
They've won the only Slayer in this series, so that's promising. Haven't dropped a Slayer all tournament, actually. So you can tell their area of focus, this is where it will truly be tested. Have SSG done the one thing they needed to do to win a championship? It comes down to 50 kills, and we'll find out here very shortly. Our next game up on that stage is the most important one of the entire tournament, in my opinion. The one that gives you the spot in the grand finals, the one that gives you the advantage of the double elim bracket. And so often do we see that team come out on top when that championship grand finals happens. So it's now or never, boys. And if you're looking at the FaZe side, Tony, those guys, they've been in this situation so many times, and we have seen the best of their careers in those moments. Will that be another staple they lean on?
Slayer Live Fire going to be game number 5, and I gotta mention it. The resilience of FaZe. At one point, I was scared that this was going to be a sweep.
I gotta mention it. I'm stealing your water while you do this.
Spacestation Gaming legitimately almost swept FaZe. I mean, that game 3, I'm telling you, they were so close, and then FaZe go back in that game 4, go game 3, go back in that game 4, and now we're coming to another game 5 where, to be honest with you, FaZe were in danger of getting that 3-0.
What's it gonna feel like for SSG going into this game 5? You feel like this series should have been over a long time ago, right? You're up 2-0 in fairly dominant fashion, in my opinion. At least game 2 was all SSG. Midway through game 1, SSG decided to turn on the lights and take over, and then since then, I mean, this is a side of FaZe that SSG didn't really know FaZe had in them. This scrappy play is something that is unfamiliar to SSG. Maybe a card up at FaZe's sleeve. A little bit of work goes a long way, and we know how hard these guys have been putting into work. And now all of a sudden, they found themselves in the exact position that if you had told FaZe that they would be in once again, I think they'd take that every tournament.
Well, the same way you just stole my water is the same way that FaZe might just steal the series here in reverse sweep fashion. You saw that trophy on the screen. That's what both of these teams are playing for. I said it before, winners bracket finals, you're guaranteed top 3 no matter what happens at this point. But both of these teams have championship aspirations. Both of these teams want to be the one hoisting the trophy above their heads. Who's it gonna be? SSG or FaZe?
And this game 5 isn't everything like we preach it, but man, does this advantage give you so much. And you can see the map loading up, Tony. Get me ready for a game 5. Get everybody in this stadium for a game 5.
Arlington, let me know who's gonna win. Will it be FaZe? Will it be SSG? Let's hear the chants. I heard a little SSG. I heard mostly SSG on that one. I didn't hear much of FaZe.
You guys are lucky. We got to restart the lobby. Tony, run it back one more time if you're brave enough.
All right, let's try it one more time. I need to hear some chants. Who's winning this? Is it Spacestation Gaming or is it FaZe? Did I hear Quadrant?
That's an SSG chant if I've ever heard one, Tony, and I think we've made it very clear that this crowd wants to see the young superstar inbound do what he has not done yet in his career, and that is going through the winner's bracket to the grand finals to potentially lift that trophy. We know one day he will lift, but is today that day? This game means almost everything to the right path to that direction. So will we see it? It's gonna be live fire Team Slayer.
You got snipers spawning up to the mid-map right away. Obviously, Overshield is going to play a factor here on the map, but that's on a bit of a delay, so you have so much time to get the slays you're looking for, to get control before that Overshield comes up. And if you manage to get both, it's going to be dangerous for the opposition.
Name of the game is power-ups, power weapons, right? Overshield, S7, you know what these kids can do with it when it's in their hands. It's just a matter of who's got it in their hands right now. Everybody on the map can pop off with it, and as we're kicking this one off, let's hop on board with Royal 2 and hope he makes some magic happen early on.
World 2 immediately playing from the pillar side over toward the bottom mid, but a stray grenade is going to change his course just a bit. And SnakeBite taking a bit of damage as well, but somehow the duo able to take on 2 players that are chasing him down. Renegade goes after another. Pznguin chases down Renegade, and somehow we already have a fight to begin the game.
Pznguin with the snipe needs to try and deny Overshield right now. Multiple members of FaZe are towards it, and they're going to have the advantage in positioning. Right now, though, Frosty's going to be coming off respawn. Nobody brave enough to go for that Overshield, and Pznguin now with Aim's sight on the Overshield. Woo. Able to find a kill under Renegade, denied his Overshield, and this is a massive play by Pznguin to get his team started in the right direction.
Frosty does find the kill onto Pznguin, as that means that S7 sniper will change hands. Bound somehow emerges through all the chaos with that Overshield and right up to the top mid side. A little bit of damage coming out from World 2 and FaZe, but it's not going to be enough to slow down Bound. He's with Eco. They're already pushing up, but what a flank and a sandwich out of FaZe. Big plays being made. Spacestation just go 2 down.
It's the Bash Bros bottom mid. Royal 2, Renegade, they find a way to win the 2-on-2 against the Overshield player, and with that, FaZe take the lead 11-8.
Just a small lead for FaZe, but not going to be much. Now starting to grow. World 2 takes down Bound. Another Overshield should be coming up in about 10 seconds here. We see 3 members of SSG over toward the seaside. Renegade wants to try to get behind enemy lines. It looks like he's going to try to make his move right now. If this flank works out for them, FaZe should be able to grab OS.
As Overshield comes up, Renegade pops it into his chest. And under one of the biggest moments with the brightest lights, I want to hop into another listen in with FaZe and see how they play with this power up.
Could be.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna run it.
I saw like 30.
Oh, yeah.
Careful, John, back up.
Alright, sorry,
You're good.
Let me get the repulsor. Yo, one's cuts. Yo, pivot.
We're okay. I'm like stuck here.
Okay,
You can come back. Okay. Do I want to keep it B though? We can do whatever we want. We can literally do
Let's snipe at 20.
Snipe at 20 as well. I'm gonna get pistol.
Yo, listen.
I heard a combo. He's probably bottom mid or vent.
Yo, listen to me.
Double nading
Look
vent.
at me,
guys.
We're
in a really good spot, right? Might be bottom mid.
Yo, listen to me. When Sniper's about to come up, we are hitting cuts. Matt, come to me now.
You want me to go T-Brad or no?
Go screens. Or Peter, just get ready to chop on mid.
Snipe in 5.
Come cuts.
One's up there. Top tower, dummies. They shot me off, guys.
Win it.
He's cuts in 2C pot.
I'm looking, guys. Give me one second.
Top tower. Where am I? Where?
I see dummies. Cut me, ready. John, go to Peter.
Top tower on you.
Bottom mid sniping.
Oh, he's one shot top tower. We're dying.
We're in the cuts, Peter, to chase you dummies. Yo, we got
somewhere on tower.
They have heat wave.
Force them to push.
They have everything. And it's coming up soon. They have all weapons.
Yeah, we got.
You guys want to go triple big?
OB in 30.
If we're gonna triple big, we should go soon. But
we could honestly just show.
We can, but they have sniper heat wave. I don't.
Yo, listen. I'm down for you guys to triple flank right now. I'm down. I'll just hold them off.
Clear back B right away.
Alright, OB in 15, guys. OB in 15.
No, you guys want to walk pillars? You guys want to do nothing?
Yo, one's dummies.
Yo, guys. I want to flank this.
Top tower.
Yeah, I want to flank this.
OB in 10.
John, I'm coming behind.
Hey, he sees me.
Alright, yo, let's cut back A plot.
Remember, they do have heat wave and snipe.
Yo, two cuts.
OB
They
up.
tried it. Alright, yeah, they're gonna.
You got it.
Yeah, we can back up here.
We try to play for cop. No, we can't play.
Oh,
Four tunnel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ride it.
You should just play extremely tight.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride it.
Yeah, I have a repulsor. You see nothing, B?
Yeah, okay, they're gonna try to set up push.
Yo, they like to bottom mid.
I'm here. Yeah, I'm gonna play close. You guys play a little far back. I have close. I'm gonna repulse them with Peter.
They heard the communication coming out of FaZe. It got a bit chaotic at time, but they were able to pull it together, but not enough. Grab that overshield. Pznguin over toward the sandbag side. StelluR with him. They want to work a little 1-2 combo, but they don't want to play the A side. They want to wrap right back to tower.
Couple of things from the listen-in. I really like how they're willing to make a play call and potentially take a risk, but like live and die by that risk, right? I also love what we saw out of SSG. From the perspective of FaZe, it had to have been so frustrating to try and figure out a way to break the SSG map control as that overshield was coming up. They were not able to do it, and SSG perfectly shot out that overshield and have now made this a one-kill game.
Normally, Livefire does not play this slow. Both teams have slowed down to a snail's pace at the moment. It's so quiet on the map. You can drop a pin, it'll echo across the map, so you hear the chants. Listen, I hear some more SSG. I'm telling you, the crowd, they on SSG's side.
The chants in a stalemate, they create so much tension for the players. You know they hear it, and as that tension continues to build, the moment becomes bigger. Who will step up and make the game-changing play right now? We're on screen with Bound, S7 in hand, down 1. But if you give him an opportunity to put either one of these 2 bullets to use, this game could be in their favor.
No matter how slow both of these teams want to play, Overshield and Sniper will always bring you out of your location. So Bound with this Sniper still has 1 bullet left. He wants to defend the Overshield, but the Shroud comes out. StelluR might have been the first one to grab it, gets repulsed back, but is able to pop it off. Now StelluR looking to pop off with the popped off Overshield. Nades are going down. He has 2 members in front of him. There's the damage. There's the kills. Finally, they take him down, but it's not enough.
It's a tied game all of a sudden, 17-17. Snipe still up. And you see SSG grab it, run away with it. They've been enjoying the presence of the tower control for quite a bit of time now. They award themselves that second Overshield, and because of it, nearly dissecting how FaZe want to try and implement their strategy from Big Door. And right now, Pznguin, with the weight of the world on his shoulders, needs to make a play with Snipe.
Not only able to grab a hold of that Overshield and put it to work like you mentioned, but also this Sniper still has 8 bullets in the chamber right now. This could be exactly what SSG are looking, not only to take the lead, but also to put some separation in the scoreboard between them and FaZe.
Pznguin didn't have to miss those shots, definitely not under the biggest moments. So this is something uncharacteristic. A couple of missed shots, needs to find one to find some confidence. Will FaZe Clan give him that opportunity?
3 members of FaZe, they're pushing up mud. It looks like Frosty gets knocked right back down over to the mud side, and finally Pznguin gets into the action, but can't find the kill that he was looking for. Renegade takes him down. 2 members of SSG hit the black screen, Bound having to take height, but that damage and that repulse, that's gonna knock you right back down to reality.
How perfect was that setup break from FaZe? They've been struggling this entire time, taking down these players, but because Pznguin does not hit any of the shots with the snipe, FaZe are able to get that snipe out of his hand, take tower control, and as Overshield comes up in 10 seconds, it will be their turn to use the Shroud and gain this Overshield in their advantage.
You see Renegade and SnakeBite addressing the Overshield over toward the seaside, but 4 members of SSG moving into position. The StelluR gets put down, but it looks like SSG might have been able to get away with the OS, and now Bound is putting right back into action. Pznguin is moving into position as well. This is bad, but the stick comes out of nowhere.
Renegade sticks Pznguin on the tippy toe of his big foot. Big toe.
Right by the hair of his chin.
Yep, and they cancel that Overshield out completely, and that is a massive power swing from FaZe. The largest lead of the game now is up to 3.
Killing spree by Wall 2, but he's going to be shut down. And with that, StelluR sneaks away with just 2 bullets left of his sniper. Right as Sniper's coming up in about 20 seconds here. So now they're diverting the troops over toward the B side. StelluR going to try to catch an angle. Bound does end up going down, but Wall 2 gets peeled.
2-kill game. StelluR with snipe in hand, exactly who you want with it right now. Spot SnakeBite can't hit the quick scope, and that snipe now out of ammo. StelluR's gonna look to be on the prowl. He's gonna be aggressive, try to take SnakeBite down, does just that, and gets away with his life. A 27-27 game, and as we take a step back for just a moment, Royal 2 is 14-1-6.
He may be, but Frosty right now, he's dining in Olive Garden. Only 1 kill. Bread sticking just a little bit at the moment here. You can only imagine that once Frosty starts to pick it up, maybe FaZe can take back that control. It's game 5, do or die. One of these teams are going to the grand final.
The teamwork from FaZe is too strong here. That was a tough push to try and execute from SSG. They get punished, and this lead that was once tied 27-all is 32-28 in favor of FaZe.
We see another battle about to ensue here for the Overshield. Renegade finding a cheeky angle here. If that connected, that could have been devastating for Spacestation Gaming, and Bound trying to capitalize on that damage, decides to get aggressive. Does he know there's multiple members of FaZe that are baiting the OS?
Renegade needs to find a A couple of shots here. Overshield is up. The body shot comes through. Everybody on SSG is surrounding scoreboard right now. The overshield goes into Bound's hands of all people, and he's able to find a kill. The kills do get traded out, so this overshield is going to be by himself. With that, though, he's able to find a kill to keep this at a 4-kill game. But a phenomenal job of FaZe to find the other members of SSG to acquire those kills before Bound could get really active with that overshield. And because of it, FaZe keep their lead strong at 5.
Back to a 5-kill game here for FaZe, and Bound started to move in position with the sniper, finds the body shot, which is just enough to take down Renegade onto the green side. World 2 still back there, but something tells me SSG aren't aware of it. There we go. They find him. Bound gets the back smack, and with that, took total control here for Spacestation Gaming as they look to tie things up.
Looking to push the momentum, looking to push the pace. Bound, what he does best. He pressure spawns 36-34. A minute left on the clock. Space Station are in control of the map, but have to find a way to tie this game up.
Bound can immediately take height with that repost, and you have 3 members of SSG here, but nobody from FaZe. Actually, see the rotation now coming with dummies and cuts. Hold on. Looks like FaZe gonna back down.
40 seconds and counting. SSG. Knock, knock, knock. The play is here. Can you make it? Renegade finds one in the kill feed. Bound rotates the tower. But as he does that, he's only giving more space and time to FaZe right now. Eventually, you have to go.
Just 2 kills separating these two.
Frosty
Spacestation Gaming needs to make something happen, but it's not coming. Back-to-back kills going for FaZe here. SSG, they have to extend. SnakeBite finds the kill onto Pznguin. Bound gets the double kill, but it's not gonna be enough. FaZe are going to the grand finals.
Unbelievable, the reverse sweep from FaZe when all looks dark and gloom. Some scrappy, efficient objective play keeps you in the series just long enough to get yourself into a moment where the lights shine brightest to Game 5 in the winners bracket finals. And it's FaZe playing that get the job done. It feels like every single time we get here. Royal 2, 18, 7, and 2 assists. The 2 stands for the amount of assists he has planned for you because he's focused on the kills himself.
11.7 KDA coming in that Game 5, and FaZe just proving time and time again they are the iciest team in the HCS. When it goes to a Game 5, when it goes to a Game 7, it doesn't matter what the situation is, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are, they find a way.
And how many big kills down the stretch of that Game 5 did SnakeBite and Frosty pick up? Because so many times, I mean, the last minute happens and all of a sudden SSG feels a little bit of pressure to try and make a play. All of a sudden, a kill in favor of FaZe makes that multiplier just go so far in the direction. You feel even more pressure on your hands, and it was SnakeBite that picked up the first. Then Frosty picks up a second. They trade it out. That's fine. We'll take trades all day. SnakeBite finds a third, and that almost solidified it even with 15 seconds left.
FaZe pull off the reverse sweep, but I want to know how. So why don't we send it over to Blaze, because I believe he's sitting down with Frosty.